What's going on, everybody? It's Dog the Gamer here, bringing you guys a Bengals recap, and unfortunately, the Bengals couldn't pull it out on Sunday. Sorry that this recap slash breakdown is going to be a bit late. I've been dealing with some stuff, and definitely did not feel like making a video after that loss. Randy Bullock was just enemy number one for that night, and I was running on like 2 hours of sleep when I watched the game anyway, so I like passed out afterwards, and it's just been hectic since. But anyway, we're gonna do a quick little recap, considering we have a quick turnaround and game on Thursday against the Browns, and the next video released the day after this, maybe the same day, is going to be my preview for that game. So this is going to be like a shorter breakdown. Breakdowns are typically going to be more in-depth and longer, even though I said I didn't want to be a super in-depth channel. I'm going to try to at least give a decent opinion on everything, but this is going to be just a quick little video. So, what much is there to say with the Bengals losing just a nail-biter to the Chargers? I'm going to give 3 winners, 3 losers, and give my general opinion, but, you know, let's just do a little quick recap on how I feel the offense, defense, and maybe a certain couple players played. Offensively, I think we looked pretty bad for most of the game, specifically the offensive line, and Bobby Hart just proves me right every time that he's contending. I thought, oh boy, he was a bad tackle. Man, Bobby Hart, you're making me miss Obuehi somehow, and maybe I'm just misremembering, but I think you might actually be worse than Cedric Obuehi, which is just something spectacular us Bengals fans get to, you know, watch, and you shouldn't have a job. But that's how I'll leave it. And if I was going to be spiteful, I would just list my 3 losers, would just be Bobby Hart, and Bobby Hart, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, I think the offense looked pretty awful, especially in the first half. Besides Joe Burrow's 23-yard QB draw run that was apparently an audible by the quarterback, so the rookie already finding a footing in the NFL with some key decisions, and you know, he made some bad decisions in the game, but we'll get to that later. But offensively, we looked pretty bad, and that was entirely to do with our offensive line just failing to protect Burrow. He had no time to throw. Overall in the game, he was sacked 3 times and I believe hit 6 times. And I believe we had a total of like 80-something yards in the first half. It was just not something I like to see. And really, this offense didn't really find a real footing until really the last drive of the game, where Burrow looked fantastic. And the second half of the game, the line definitely looked better, but it's really hard not to look worse than they did in the first half. And it's impossible for Cedric Obuehi probably to look worse than he did in the first half. Multiple times just getting demolished by Bosa and or not even getting a hand on him. And I was terrified, and I am starting to get terrified because I do not want an Andrew Luck situation with Joe Burrow. But anyway, offense just didn't look too great, didn't score a lot of points, left a lot of points on the board, with some bad throws on Burrow's part, and we'll get to that when I talk to him about him specifically. I guess I'll just do that now since I'm in the offense area. But Burrow looked, he looked good for a rookie. He definitely made some mistakes. That shovel pass in the fourth quarter was just horrendous, and that was a rookie play if I've ever seen one. And, you know, he overthrew Green once, and you could make the case he might have overthrown John Ross. I get the feeling John Ross, you know, didn't make as much of an effort to go catch a ball, but he overthrew him like back-to-back plays. And I'm getting the feeling that A.J. Green's just looking a bit slow. Might just be, you know, after not playing for 2 years, got to get back into it, and not having great communication with the rookie. You know, I think overall Burrow showed poise, and especially in that drive at the end of the game, he looked fantastic. He looked like the reason why we drafted him. Just ice, you know, cold, you know, ice in his veins. I'm just, I'm still dumbfounded that, you know, I'm making this video and talking about that game and just what we saw. But overall, offense got to improve. Mixon's got to do better. Offensive line's got to do a hell of a lot better, and Burrow's got to improve. But overall, it was at least a nice little showing from the rookie. But offensively, it was a horrible game. Defensively, we looked pretty good. I'd say in the first half, the defense looked as good as you can expect for an offense that was 3 and out and punting basically every other drive. And, they made key stops and held them to a minimal amount of points. I believe they only had a couple field goals at halftime, maybe a touchdown. I don't know. I don't have the entire game summary in front of me, and it's been a couple days since the game. Part of me is trying to just purge that from my mind. But defense looked great. Linebackers looked way improved, which is just fantastic to see. And William Jackson just looked great. He looked spectacular. I don't believe he gave up an actual catch the entire game. Darius Phillips got bullied around by Mike Williams all game. Just Mike Williams, using his frame and height to his advantage. Not getting called for push-offs, but apparently our receivers can. But that's officiating in the NFL. Inconsistent for everyone. I'm not going to be that guy that says it's always us, because you know what? We should have not been in that situation. We should have won the game already. We should have played a lot better. But officiating's got to get better. It really does. All over the league, Sunday, and it was just something horrible to see when it comes to officiating, pass interference calls. But I was proud of the defense and making some key stops. Second half, they started giving up a bit. They started giving up some more and more yards, but they made key stops, and that's what you really want out of your defense. It's not really about the amount of yards they give up; it's whether they can at least hold someone to a field goal. And our defense did that. Our defense played pretty good. They held them to 16 points, I believe. Was it 16 or 17? I don't remember. We lost by 3. I believe it was 16. Yeah. But I couldn't have asked anything more out of my out of our defense. I think they just played exceedingly well, especially without Geno Atkins. I think with Geno Atkins, our defense looked even better, which is a scary thought. And thank God that DJ Reader only went down in that game with cramps, and he should be fine. But anyway, let's move on to winners and losers. We're just going to start with the winners real quick. But I want to include Burrow because he did play pretty well for a rookie. Sure, I'm going to include him, but with the caveat that he barely makes this list, even though I'm listing him first. I think when you're grading him on a scale with the amount of protection he had, he looked good. He even said he had a D game, and I would agree with that assessment for any normal quarterback in a normal situation. He still had a pretty poor game, but when you grade him on a curve compared to the line he had and the fact he's a rookie with no preseason, going against a great defense, a great secondary, and one of the best defensive lines in the league, he played pretty well. So I'll keep him. I'll put him on the list as a winner. He got his first touchdown of his career on Sunday. Winner number 2, I would have to say Josh Bynes. He looked great. He was great in the run game. And he really did look like the guy we were hoping to pick up, and a lot of guys on defense did that we picked up when it came to stopping the run and making key stops. Him, Von Bell, and DJ Reader all look good today. Not today, but Sunday. And I'd say third winner's got to be William Jackson. I can't. If I didn't put Burrow on this list, it would have been Jesse Bates and William Jackson, but I can't keep the rookie off the list. He did play pretty good, but anyway, the third is by far the best player of the game, and that was William Jackson. William Jackson was locked down in the game, and he looked like a guy playing for a contract, and he looked like his not his rookie year, but his first year in the league, a couple years ago. So it was nice to see. Moving on, losers. Again, I want to just say Bobby Hart and just leave it at that, but let's just Bobby Hart. Awful, god awful. Start Fred Johnson, cut him now. please, for the love of God, cut him now and do not allow him to block for Joe Burrow. I don't see how Fred Johnson could be any worse. Bobby Hart, you are terrible, and I hope you hear this. And yeah, you could throw in my face that you're a millionaire, so you don't really care and you make tons of money, but I just would say that makes you one of the best con men in the league. So that's what I'm gonna leave it at. Loser number 2, if I had to list someone, because I do want to at least list, multiple people. Every week, this is not going to be definite how many winners and losers are. At most, there'll be 3 in each category. Even if a team could have more losers or more winners, I'm only going to list 3 if there are 3 in each category. Number 2 is Brandy Bullock, because somehow you missed a clutch field goal and had my hopes up after you made a 50-yarder. Stupid me for thinking that maybe you were getting better because you seemed pretty good last year. But then again, you showed us the true you, which is a guy who crumples under pressure and then fakes an injury, saying your left calf, his left calf was hurt, even though he's grabbing his right calf, or what was the reverse, whichever one. You were grabbing the wrong calf, dude. You're gonna fake an injury. At least remember which one you were grabbing during the game. Bullock, I hope you get replaced too. This is starting to seem pretty harsh, but in terms of 2 players that just shouldn't be on the team, one of them, Bobby Hart, you're just the perfect thing in terms of horrible player and horrible human being. But Bullock, you're just a bad player. You're probably not a bad guy. But moving on to loser number 3, and that is Zach Taylor with his horrible play calling and just questionable clock management. Could have been more just the rookie quarterback, not getting, out on the field in time, and, them seeing things that, they would have to call timeout because it just, they were seeing formations and, stuff that, wasn't really optimal to deal with. But it just seems like we're inheriting a Marvin thing with having no timeouts at the end of the game. Luckily, Burrow didn't need any of them to drive down the field, but I bet having some of those timeouts and giving more time for Burrow to actually score a touchdown would have been nice. And Zach Taylor's just offensive play calling just at times seems weird. I'm starting to get concerned that, he's definitely he has none of the Sean McVay magic. And I would even say that I think Sean McVay would possibly be overrated as a play caller anyway myself, but that's just me, and that's just my opinion. It's not backed by any facts or real data, but I'm starting to get concerned, so I would include Zach Taylor as a loser number 3. I need to see more out of his play calling, because I'm starting to get a bit concerned. Not enough play action and not enough running, in my opinion. I don't think they used Mixon exceedingly. They didn't use him well. I figured they were going to try to lean on him, and it didn't seem like they had any intention of that. And it showed. And when Burrow started to look better, it was off of play action after Mixon was starting to get the ball more later in the game. But these are just my opinions. Anyway, what do you guys think? How did you feel about the loss? How do you feel about my winners and losers? Who are your winners and losers? And how are you looking forward to the next game coming up on Thursday? I'm going to be releasing my preview probably in the next day after this. Maybe the same day, probably not. But if you guys did like the video, leave a like, and again, comment, tell me what you think. And if you want to see more Bengals videos and news videos and previews, predictions, and breakdowns, don't forget to subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications so you do get notified when each video does come out. And I hope you guys have a great day. Hoo day, and God bless.